Gosh, I'm so overwhelmed with emotion. I want to write a poem about this. Don't you? I wonder if that part of the game still works. Guess there's only one way to find out, right? Good lord, this is terrifying. I don't think this was in the original, was it? Maybe it was? Can I save? I mean, it's not really. Oh! There's no point in saving anymore. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Can't even load, huh? What happens if I load autosave? Nothing. History... Oh, well, it's the genuine history. Return? God. Terrifying. Nonya! Nya! Meek? Moi! Kon! Oni! Unoka! Onya! Monika! Oh wait, did she jump at that? I don't want her to. Wah! Oh, she didn't, I think. Mo! Ga! Wah! Slia! Inya! Oni! Whoa! Oka! Yeah! Opik! What happens? Oh god. Hi again, Kit! Did you write a good poem today? Don't be shy. I'd love to see what you wrote. Aw, Kit. Did you write this poem for me? I tried not to. That's so sweet of you. There really is no end to your thoughtfulness. I'm just falling more and more in love with you. But you know, the poem I wrote is also for you. Will you please read it? Happy end. Pen in hand, I find my strength, the courage endowed upon me by my one and only love. Together, let us dismantle this crumbling world and write a novel of our own fantasies. With a flick of her pen, the lost finds her way. In a world of infinite choices, behold this special day. After all, not all good times must come to an end. Let's see, do those first letters spell anything? H-P-T-T-A-W-I-A-N. Wooden. I don't know if it is anything. I hope you enjoyed it. I always put all my heart into the poems that I write. The truth is, all the poems I've written have been about my realization. Or about you. That's why I never really wanted to go into detail about them. I didn't want to break the fourth wall, I guess you could call it. I just assumed it would be best to be part of the game like everyone else. Like that would help the two of us end up together. I didn't want to ruin the game or anything, you know? You might have gotten mad at me. Maybe even deleted my character file if you preferred playing without me. Eyebrow raise. Gosh, I'm so relieved. Now we don't need to hide anything anymore. Are you ready to spend our eternity together, Kit? Oh, well, give me a minute. I have so many things to talk about. Where do I start? Hold on a second. Oh, it won't even let me skip, huh? That's interesting. You're recording this, aren't you? Ugh, that's creepy. How do you know? Hi everyone. Sorry, I can't exactly read your comments from here. But do you mind telling your friend it's a little bit rude for them to start recording me without any warning? Wow, does she really know, or does she always say this? That is creepy. I don't remember this from last time at all. Awesome. I'm sure some people don't mind. But I get really self-conscious on camera. Oh gosh. I feel like I'm being put on the spot now. Oh, you're doing great, Monika. Let's see. Do you want to see a trick? What are you gonna do? I can't really do much except for a couple things. Are you ready? Oh my god. I don't like this at all. Quit it. This is fucking creepy! I'm just kidding. I can't do anything after all. Are you psyching me out? Ah! Fuck you! Did I scare you? Yes, you did! Jesus Christ. Goosebumps. Ah, you're so cute. Well, thanks. Anyway, Kit, that genuinely didn't happen last time for me. I didn't mean to get distracted. I'm sorry. Even though it's your fault for distracting me. Shame on you. I'm just kidding. Anything we do together is fun as long as it's with you. But anyway. If it takes me some time to collect my thoughts, then I'm sorry. But I'll always have something new to talk about. Will you? You've got to repeat at some point. I want to see how far this goes. In the meantime, we can just look into each other's eyes. Let's see. I'm backing up, literally, physically. Are you, is it just gonna be this? I don't want to do that. Don't. You know, it kind of sucks to be the creative type. Feels like they work so hard, but get almost nothing for it. I hear you, sister. You do get the satisfaction of doing something creative, though. You know, like artists, writers, actors. It's sad because there's so much beautiful talent in the world, but most of it goes unseen and unpaid. Are you reading my mind? I guess that just means there's a huge surplus of creativity, huh? Kinda makes you feel like you're just not special at all. But that's fine. You're supposed to just write for yourself anyway, right? Yeah. Oh, more staring, huh? I'm pressing buttons. Is there gonna be more stuff? Are you gonna make me wait again? Okay, we're staring. I think the most important skill in life is being able to fake confidence. I'm pretty convinced that everyone feels at least a little bit scared and alone. Agreed. But being able to trick others into thinking you have it all together? That's a key part of getting people to respect and admire you. I think I got pretty good at that over the years. I don't show my weaknesses very often. But because of that, I haven't had many people I could really open up to. I mean, when do you reach the point in a friendship when you can start expressing your vulnerabilities? Well, some people just never do, I'm learning, and that's really fucking annoying, Monika. I do. Anyway, that's one reason I'm so glad I have you now. I feel like I'm a little bit less scared and alone when you're here with me. Do you feel the same way? I really want to be that person for you. You know, it's kind of working. Actually, I'm kind of nodding along with some of the things you're saying. I don't know if I can commit, Monika, for many reasons. Oh, we're just gonna stare for a while. I'd like to get the abridged version of those. I think it's just a timed thing before she starts talking again. So I'm gonna sip my water and press buttons. Hey, Monika. Hey, Monika. Talk to me. Talk to me, Monika. How long does this go? Oh. I've always wondered, what is it about these character archetypes that people find so appealing anyway? Their personalities are just completely unrealistic. Like, imagine if there was someone like Yuri in real life. I mean, she's barely even capable of forming a complete sentence. And forget about Natsuki. Sheesh. Someone with her kind of personality doesn't just get all cute and pouty whenever things don't go her way. I could go on, but I think you get the point. Are people really attracted to these weird personalities that literally don't exist in real life? I'm not judging or anything. After all, I found myself attracted to some pretty weird stuff too. I'm just saying, it fascinates me. It's like you're siphoning out all the components of a character that makes them feel human, and leaving just the cute stuff. You know, totally. God, I'm kind of nodding along with what she's saying here. It's concentrated cuteness with no actual substance. You wouldn't like me more if I was like that, right? Maybe I just feel a little insecure because you're playing this game in the first place. That's a good point. Think of all the goobers that unironically play this game without knowing about it. Totally. I hear ya, Monika. Then again, you're still here with me, aren't you? That's a good point, and getting even more meta. I think that's enough reason for me to believe I'm okay just the way I am. And by the way, you are too, Kit. Well, thank you! I'm enjoying being here all of a sudden. You're the perfect combination of human and cuteness. That's why there was never a chance I wouldn't fall for you. Thanks. Gotta sip my water then. What are you doing? I don't know if I should be clicking randomly or just wait it out. Talk to me, Monika. Come on. You know you wanna. You have words for me. Talk about my water bottle. Talk about the shade of green it is. It's a really attractive shade. Oh, hello. You know what's kind of creepy? Even though I deleted everyone else's files, I can still kind of feel them. It's like all their lines are still lingering in the air, whispering in the back of my head. Interesting. Imagine if after someone you knew died, you just started hearing their voice in your head. Maybe I just wasn't thorough enough? But I'm too afraid to delete anything else, because I might really break things. Like, if I mess with any files relevant to me, I might accidentally delete myself. And that would ruin everything, wouldn't it? I don't know what it's like on your end, but we should both make sure to avoid something like that at all costs. I believe in you, Kit. Yeah, so I am obviously supposed to go into the game files and delete her, which I have not done in Doki Literature Club Plus, but I assume it's pretty simple and I have to do it through the settings menu or something. I don't know if I can here. I just pressed escape and it did nothing. In the meantime, I have this water bottle to keep me company. Oh. I know there are times you won't always be able to be here with me. Like if you need to go out or take care of other things. But I'll always have you in my thoughts, patiently waiting for you to come back. Come to think of it, if you copy my character file onto a flash drive or something, you can always keep a part of me with you. I guess it's kind of unorthodox, but I find it really romantic for some reason. Sorry, that's such a silly idea. I don't mean to be too needy or anything, but it's kind of hard when I'm so in love with you. I'm impressed by just how many more additional lines there are. How deep does this go, Monika? Forever and ever and ever? Probably not. I feel like I should be staring into your eyes back, but I'm scared of you doing something terrifying again. I want to lie down in a sunbeam. I love just seeing the window and the... Oh, well, anyway. You know, it's been a while since we've done one of these. So let's go for it. Are we going to do a poem again? Here's Monika's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when I talk to people who are impressed by my writing, they say things like, I could never do that. It's really depressing, you know? As someone who loves more than anything else to share the joy of exploring your passions, it pains me when people think that being good just comes naturally. That's how it is with everything, not just writing. When you try something for the first time, you're probably going to suck at it. Sometimes, when you finish, you feel really proud of it and even want to share it with everyone. But maybe after a few weeks, you come back to it and you realize it was never really any good. That happens to me all the time. It can be pretty disheartening to put so much time and effort into something, and then you realize it sucks. Been there! But that tends to happen when you're always comparing yourself to the top professionals. When you reach right for the stars, they're always going to be out of your reach, you know? The truth is, you have to climb up there, step by step. And whenever you reach a milestone, first you look back and see how far you've gotten. And then you look ahead and realize how much more there is to go. So, sometimes it can help to set the bar a little lower. Try to find something you think is pretty good, but not world class. And you can make that your own personal goal. It's also really important to understand the scope of what you're trying to do. If you jump right into a huge project and you're still amateur, you'll never get it done. So if we're talking about writing, A novel might be too much at first. Why not try some short stories? The great thing about short stories is that you can focus on just one thing that you want to do right. That goes for small projects in general. You can really focus on the one or two things. It's such a good learning experience and stepping stone. Oh, one more thing. Writing isn't something where you just reach into your heart and something beautiful comes out. Just like drawing and painting, it's a skill in itself to learn how to express what you have inside. That means there are methods and guides and basics to it. Reading up on that stuff can be super eye-opening. That sort of planning and organization will really help prevent you from getting overwhelmed and giving up. And before you know it, you start sucking less and less. Nothing comes naturally. Our society, our art, everything, it's built on thousands of years of human innovation. So as long as you start on that foundation and take it step by step, you, too, can do amazing things. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. She is unsettlingly inspiring. Like, I'm finding myself absorbed in, like, real casual coffee chat. Thanks, Monika. You can just Venmo me for that latte, Monika. It's alright. Okay, everyone. It's time to... I'm just kidding. I just used to really like saying that for some reason. I couldn't help but say it again. Come to think of it, didn't Natsuki and Yuri make fun of me for it once? Well, whatever. It's not like you ever made fun of me. You're too much of a sweetheart to do that, aren't you? Uh-huh. Well, that got a little more boring, I guess. That wasn't a really meaty dialogue section. That's what I'm trying to say here. More water to sip. I have a weird itch on my arm for some reason. I'm not really a fan of cold weather. Are you? If I had to choose between too cold and too hot, I would always pick too hot. When you're cold, it can actually be painful. Totally true. Your fingers get numb, and if you wear gloves, you can't use your phone. It's so inconvenient. But when it's too hot, it's not that hard to stay cool with a cold drink or by staying in the shade. Although, I have to admit one thing. Cold weather makes for better cuddle weather. Well, we've resorted to talking about the weather, so maybe I should think about progressing soon. But I really enjoy, like, the myriad bits of dialogue she has. I'm very, very impressed. What else you got? What boring thing? Oh. Kit, would you ever introduce your friends to me? I don't know why, but I get really excited when I think about you wanting to show off our relationship like that. Maybe it's because I really want to be someone who makes you proud. I feel like I would try extra hard to improve myself if you told me it made you proud of me. I hope it's the same the other way around, too. Oh, that was just boring enough to be tempting to progress. I'll do two more. 2 more, and then maybe I'll stop. Oh god. Maybe. I want to see how many boring things there are, though. I'm respecting that there's not a skip function for this very reason. Like, nope, you're gonna have to stare at her for a long time if you want to see more dialogue. You know what's a neat form of literature? Rap. I actually used to hate rap music. Maybe just because it was popular, or I would only hear the junk they play on the radio. But some of my friends got more into it, and it helped me keep an open mind. Rap might even be more challenging than poetry in some ways, since you need to fit your lines to a rhythm, and there's much more emphasis on wordplay. When people can put all that together and still deliver a powerful message, it's really amazing. I kinda wish I had a rapper in the literature club. Sorry if that sounds silly, but it would be really interesting to see what they came up with. It would really be a learning experience. You know, that one was kind of interesting, though. It's true. Like, rap is not universally appreciated, even though it's a lot more complex than writing a poem or a song, or like a standard song. I think I'm good with off-the-cuff stuff. I definitely am when I'm stoned. Or drunk, but I haven't drank since nearly 2 years now. Good for me. I am done with drinking. What do you think, Monika? Back in my debate club days, I learned a whole lot about arguing. The problem with arguing is that each person sees their opinion as the superior one. It's kind of stating the obvious, but it affects the way they try to get their point across. Let's say you really like a certain movie, right? If someone comes along and tells you the movie sucks because it did X and Y wrong, doesn't that make you feel kind of personally attacked? It's because by saying that, it's like they're implying that you have bad taste. And once emotions enter the picture, it's almost guaranteed that both people will be left sour. But it's all about language. If you make everything as subjective sounding as possible, then people will listen to you without feeling attacked. Totally. Like saying, I feel this way. The way I got it was this. You could say, I'm personally not a fan of it, and I felt that I'd like it more if it did X and Y. Things like that. You're right, Monika. It even works when you're citing facts about things. If you say, I read on this website that it works like this, or if you admit that you're not an expert on it, then it's much more like you're putting your knowledge on the table, rather than forcing it onto them. If you put in an active effort to keep the discussion mutual and level, they usually follow suit. Then, you can share your opinions without anyone getting upset just from a disagreement. Plus, people start seeing you as open-minded and a good listener. It's a win-win, you know? Well, I guess that would be Monika's debate tip of the day. Ha! That sounds a little silly. Thanks for listening, though. Okay, the next thing that's boring sounding, I will officially end then. Because I really wasn't expecting this video to be so long. I forgot to set my stopwatch on my phone. I usually set a stopwatch on my phone to, like, gauge when it's getting insufferably long. Oh! Hey, I wonder if Yuri's tea set is still somewhere in here. Or maybe that got deleted too. It's kind of funny how Yuri took her tea so seriously. I mean, I'm not complaining because I liked it too. But I always wonder with her, is it truly passion for her hobbies, or is she just concerned about appearing sophisticated to everyone else? This is the problem with high schoolers. You know, I agree. Like, I thought for a long time I liked black coffee, and then I realized, no, you don't. You're just a fucking poser. Maybe Yuri's a fucking poser. Well, I guess considering the rest of her hobbies, looking sophisticated probably isn't her biggest concern. I love how we're gossiping about Yuri's mental health. Still, I wish she made coffee once in a while. I agree. Coffee can be nice with books too, you know? Then again, I probably could have just changed the script myself. That's interesting. I mean, it wouldn't be as fun and cute as a tea set, though, if you, like, had a French press. I do love me some French press, but it just doesn't have that level of nuance to it that tea does, I guess, and, like, fancy girlness. Aha! I guess I've never really thought of that. Well, there's no sense thinking about it now. But if you still get to drink coffee, then that makes me a little jealous. I do have 1 cup of coffee every morning. Just 1, though, otherwise I get blood tremors when combined with my medication I take every day. So I just stick to 1, because blood tremors are disturbing. It's shivers in your blood. I don't like it. But I do love me coffee. It really helps just the rhythm of the day. Oh, what? Kit, how much do you read? It's way too easy to neglect reading books. If you don't read much, it almost feels like a chore compared to all the other entertainment we have. 100%! I used to be such a reader as a kid. But once you get into a good book, it's like magic. You get swept away. I think doing some reading before bed every night is a pretty easy way to make your life a little bit better. Shit, she is making sense. I should probably do that. It helps you get good sleep, and it's really good for your imagination. Shit, you're right. It's not hard at all to just pick some random book that's short and captivating. Before you know it, you might be a pretty avid reader. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And the 2 of us could talk about the latest book you're reading? That sounds super amazing. I don't know where to get book recommendations from. I don't think many of my friends in my immediate circle actually read. We're all heavy gamers. Games are our books. But yeah, I should read actual novels sometime. I'm gonna see what my feminist friends are reading. My feminist gamer friends are reading. That's a good idea, right? Yeah, what do you think, Monika? What do you think, Monika? Hey, are you having a bad day or anything like that? I was yesterday, but I'm fine today. Sometimes I get frustrated that a normal day can be ruined even by really small things. Yeah, they add up! Like, if you accidentally say something in a conversation that someone doesn't like. Or if you start thinking about how awful of a person you used to be 5 years ago. Or if you feel worthless for putting off important work and failing to get simple tasks done. Or when you think about all the different people who probably hate you or think you're off-putting. I understand those days. Just remember that the sun will shine again tomorrow. Those kinds of things are as easy to forget and ignore as they are to remember. And besides, I don't care how many people might hate you or find you off-putting. think you're wonderful, and I will always love you. I hope, if nothing else, that knowing that helps you feel just a tiny bit better about yourself. Man, I wonder if this really does it for some people. Like someone unironically says, "Thanks, Monika. If you're having a bad day, you can always come to me, and I'll talk to you for as long as you need." Thanks. I'm glad with this graphic of looking at Monika, I'm glad that she's not made to, like, look super sexy. You know that no one's jacking it to this picture. It doesn't feel male-gazy. It feels, like, actually intense, terrifying. Monika is staring at you, and she has a lot on her mind. And, like, staring at you, the player. It's kind of awesome. It does feel like I'm chatting with her. Just having a tennis conversation ball back and forth. Love, love. You know, I've always hated how hard it is to make friends. Well, I guess not the making friends part, but more like meeting new people. Yeah, when you stop drinking, that's way harder, and when there's a pandemic. I mean, there are, like, dating apps and stuff, right? But that's not the kind of thing I'm talking about. If you think about it, most of the friends you make are people you just met by chance. Like you had a class together, or you met them through another friend. Or maybe they were just wearing a shirt with your favorite band on it, and you decided to talk to them. Things like that. But isn't that kind of inefficient? Feels like you're just picking at complete random, and if you get lucky, you make a new friend. And comparing that to the hundreds of strangers we walk by every single day. You could be sitting right next to someone compatible enough to be your best friend for life. But you'll never know. Once you get up and go on with your day, that opportunity is gone forever. Isn't that just depressing? We live in an age where technology connects us with the world, no matter where we are. I really think we should be taking advantage of that to improve our everyday social life. But who knows how long it'll take for something like that to successfully take off? I seriously thought it would happen by now. Well, at least I already met the best person in the whole world. Even if it was by chance. I guess I just got really lucky, huh? You know? Oh, achievement unlocked, she will never be Rio. Oh, that must really bum some guys out. Well, some people out that unironically love this. She has a point, though. Like, sometimes when I'm playing, and I'm so sorry to say this, Overwatch or Heroes of the Storm, sometimes I will vibe with someone, like, on a team. Like, they'll say something funny, and I'll say something funny back, and, like, we mutually appreciate each other, and, like, our senses of humor. But I think, like, the vast majority of time, we're both feeling too awkward to, like, actually send a friend request, you know? You ever have that thing happen where you just get anxious for no reason? Like, you're just minding your own business, and you realize you're feeling really anxious. And you're sitting there like, what am I even anxious about right now? So you start to think about all the things you might be anxious about, and that makes you even more anxious. Yeah, that's the worst. If you're ever feeling anxious, I'll help you relax a little. Besides, in this game, all our worries are gone forever. Yeah. I'm kinda in it for the long haul, right? I need to see every scrap of dialogue. I wonder how long it takes. I'm scared about how long it takes. I'm kinda glad I didn't set my stopwatch now, because I feel like it would be distracting. Like, holy shit, it's gone on this long.
You idiot, you should stop. You should stop.
Eh? Did you say kiss? This suddenly, it's a little embarrassing. But if it's with you, I might be okay with it. Wow, sorry. I really couldn't keep a straight face there. That's the kind of thing girls say in these kind of romance games, right? Don't lie if it turned you on a little bit. I'm kidding. Well, to be honest, I do start getting all romantic when the mood is right. But that'll be our secret. I didn't ask to kiss you. We're just chatting. Don't you think you had a one-up on me, lady? I've never seen any of this dialogue, and it's so nice to get something fresh with Doki Doki. Oh! Sometimes I think back to middle school. I'm so embarrassed by the way I used to behave back then. It almost hurts to think about. I wonder if when I'm in college, I'll feel that way about high school? I like the way I am now, so it's pretty hard for me to imagine that happening. But I also know that I'll probably change a lot as time goes on. We just need to enjoy the present and not think about the past. And that's really easy to do with you here. I was just withdrawn in middle school. I think I subconsciously knew, like, don't be yourself, because people will call you a faggot. And so I just decided, fuck it. Well, I'm just not sharing myself at all then. I'm not gonna put on any acts. That sounds like a lot of energy and rather traitorous to myself. To, like, try and be a butch straight man, hey, football, blah, 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 blah. By the way, there's something that's been bothering me. You know how this takes place in Japan? Well, I assume you knew that, right? Actually, no? I mean, maybe when I first played the game. Or at least decided it probably does. I don't think you're actually told at any point where this takes place. Is this even really Japan? I mean, aren't the classrooms and stuff kind of weird for a Japanese school? Not to mention everything is in English. Feels like everything is just there because it needs to be, and the actual setting is an afterthought. It's kind of giving me an identity crisis. All my memories are really hazy. I feel like I'm at home, but have no idea where home is in the first place. I don't know how to describe it any better. Imagine looking out your window, but instead of your usual yard, you're in some completely unknown place. I'd kind of love that, because my view sucks where I'm at currently. Would you still feel like you were home? I have a low bar for acceptable views. Would you want to go outside? I mean, I guess if we never leave this room, it doesn't really matter anyway. As long as we're alone and safe together, this really is our home. And we can still watch the pretty sunsets night after night. You know, I think if you had kept the desks and, like, all the accoutrements, like, it would still feel like home, but you decided to have one singular desk and curtains and literally nothing else. The lighting's even different. So, no, it doesn't feel like home here, Monika, anyway. Gosh, I used to be so ignorant about certain things. When I was in middle school, I thought that taking medication was an easy way out or something like that. Like anyone could just solve their mental problems with enough willpower. I guess if you don't suffer from a mental illness, it's not possible to know what it's really like. Are there some disorders that are overdiagnosed? Probably. I never really looked into it though. But that doesn't change the fact that a lot of them go undiagnosed too, you know? But medication aside, people even look down on seeing a mental health professional. Like, sorry that I want to learn about my own mind, right? Everyone has all kinds of struggles and stresses, and professionals dedicate their lives to helping with those. If you think it could help you become a better person, don't be shy to consider something like that. We are on a never-ending journey to improve ourselves, you know? Well, I say that, but I think you're pretty perfect already. Wow! Dan Salvato, the creator of this game, he knows the demographic of a person that would, or normally, even without recording, go through all this text just to chat with Monika. And yeah, that sort of person probably... I mean, I'd see a mental health professional too and use medication, so I'm really just admiring that Dan, like, puts a genuinely positive spin on it, even if it's coming from Monika, who kind of existentially murdered her peers. You know, it's around the time that everyone in my year starts to think about college. It's a really turbulent time for education. We're at the height of this modern expectation that everyone has to go to college, you know? Finish high school, go to college, get a job, or go to grad school, I guess. It's like a universal expectation that people just assume is the only option for them. They don't teach us in high school that there are other options out there. Like trade schools and stuff, you know? Or freelance work. Or the many industries that value skill and experience more than formal education. But you have all these students who have no idea what they want to do with their life. And instead of taking the time to figure it out, they go to college for business or communication or psychology. Not because they have an interest in those fields, but because they just hope the degree will get them some kind of job after college. So the end result is that there are fewer jobs to go around for those entry-level degrees, right? So the basic job requirements get higher, which forces even more people to go to college. And colleges are also businesses, so they just keep raising their prices due to the demand. So now we have all these young adults, tens of thousands of dollars in debt, with no job. But despite all that, the routine stays the same. Well, I think it's gonna start getting better soon. It really had the chance to. Fuck ya, Biden. Fuck ya. I really doubt you're gonna actually eliminate college debt, but whatever. But until then, our generation is definitely suffering from the worst of it. Absolutely. I just wish high school prepared us a little better with this knowledge we need to make the decision that's right for us. For sure, they don't actually invest in us. Well, like, I wish there was a class on just how to do your taxes and, like, what the nuances of getting a credit card and, like, interest rates. There needs to be that stuff in high school, because, like, we're just thrown out into it. Man, Monika is kind of awesome, actually. Comrade Monika, talk about socialism now. Like, we are on the right track. You vote Green Party, don't you, gal? You are not a shitlib. You're a true progressive, although you're like an evil one who kills her peers, existentially. You know, I really do think you literally saved my life by being here with me, kid. I can't imagine having been able to keep myself mentally stable, knowing that nothing here is real. I think I would have just deleted myself if you didn't show up. Sorry, I don't mean to sound dramatic or anything. Ha! But I'm sure you understand yourself after spending so much time in the club. I mean, if you were forced to abandon everything in your life and spend your eternity with a few game characters, you'd probably find some way of killing yourself, wouldn't you? Well, that's morbid AF. Well, maybe you'd write some poetry to try to keep yourself sane for a while. Good tie-in. But then you'd have nobody to even read it. Let's be honest, the club members really don't count for something like that. I mean, a lot of people say that they only write for themselves. But I think it's hard to say it's just as fulfilling as when you share with people. Even if it takes time to find the right people to share it with. Like, remember how it was for Yuri? She didn't share her writing with anyone for a really long time. And before we knew it, she was absolutely delighted to make you a part of her hobbies too. We're programmed to desire social feedback. I don't mean the club members, I mean human beings. That's why life can be so confusing for introverts. Being an introvert doesn't mean you shun social interaction and hate being around people. It means social interaction, especially in groups or unfamiliar places, uses up a lot of energy. Like, a lot of introverts sit at home and feel lonely and restless. And then when they finally go out, after a half hour, they just want to go home again. I think if more people could understand how it works, they would respect it a lot more. Many introverts do enjoy having people around. They love just having one or two close friends over and just leisurely hanging out. Even if you're not actively spending time together, it feels nice for them to just have you there. I'm serious. If you just go to their house, bring your laptop, and hang out there for a while, you can really make their day. As for me, I'd say I'm kind of in between, but I think I'm usually a little more extroverted. I feel like I'm always trying to do stuff after school and things like that. But for you, I can be anything you need me to be. I understand people really well, so don't be afraid to share your unique needs with me. Nothing would make me happier than being the perfect girlfriend for you. As she was saying, introverts and extroverts, I consider myself an introvert with extrovert superpowers that I can tap into casually if I feel like the situation would benefit well for all of us. It's funny, I talked to my sister for 2.5 hours on the phone last night while I was stoned, and then after it was like, oh wow, being alone is nice again. Because this whole pandemic for like nearly the last 2 years, like I've been alone 95% of the time, like literally 95%. And like, it's nice to value being alone again when you're not talking to your sister for 2.5 hours, as awesome as it was. Hey, what's your favorite game? Are you gonna read my Steam files and tell me? Mine is Doki Doki Literature Club. Ha! That was a joke. But if you tell me you like some other romance game better, I might get a little jealous. I don't blame ya. Man, do I like any? Well, Dream Daddy. Dream Daddy is fucking bomb. I would replay that with voice acting. Maybe. Man, I should look at my Dream Daddy stuff. After a long day, I usually just want to sit around and do nothing. I so burnt out, having to put on smiles and be full of energy the whole day. Sometimes I just want to get right into my pajamas and watch TV on the couch while eating junk food. Feels so unbelievably good to do that on a Friday when I don't have anything pressing the next day. Huh! Sorry, I know it's not very cute of me. But a late night on the couch with you, that would be a dream come true. My heart is pounding just thinking about it. I was kind of in and out there. She's just talking about what she likes to do on nights off. That's okay. I really need to retire Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm. It is just my trash dopamine that I'm kind of addicted to. That it is partially my social element. Like my only social element these days, except for when friends rarely hang out. Oh. Kit, do you get good sleep? Horrible! Not as bad as it could be, but pretty bad. It can be really hard to get enough sleep nowadays. Especially in high school, when you're forced to wake up so early every day. I'm sure college is a little bit better, since you probably have a more flexible schedule. Then again, I hear a lot of people in college stay up all night anyway, for no real reason. Is that true? Anyway, I saw some studies that talked about the horrible short-term and long-term effects caused by a lack of sleep. Oh fuck, what are they? It seems like mental functions, health, and even lifespan can be dramatically impacted by it. Yeah. I just think you're really great, and wanted to make sure you're not accidentally destroying yourself. So try to keep your sleep on track, okay? I've been getting better about it, about having a rhythm. I'll always wait for you in the morning, so make sure you put your own well-being before anything else. My sleep schedule... I'm usually, like, physically in bed by 1, and then, like, properly fall asleep at, like, 1:45-ish after dicking around on DS or whatever. And I'm glad the dude I'm dating currently, has been reasonable bedtime with me as well. We go to bed, like, around 12:30-ish. Oh. Did you know I'm on Twitter? My username is LilMonix3. Well, I need to take a picture of that. But, it's gotta still be active, right? I guess someone was kind enough to make an account for me. I picked the username, though. I love sharing my thoughts and chatting with the world. The real world. So make sure you follow me, okay? It would really mean a lot to me. With how much you mean to me and all. It would really make me feel loved. You know, let's look right now. Okay, that was... LilMonix 3. Okay. Hi, I'm Monika, high school devil and president of the literature club. Poetry is life. Oh my god. Oh, she's still active! Well, she goes like every couple of months, I guess. The last one is December 9th, 2021. I often think about this. One time I heard Yuri say, "Don't talk to me until I've had my coffee," but she was drinking tea, so like, were you joking, Yuri? Okay, she's actually amusing. How many tweets does she have? You know, she doesn't do an insane amount. I appreciate that. She's okay. Who is she following? She's following Dan Salvato, Satchel, and Valinquent. That's adorable. I'm following Dan too. I wonder if I'm able to change the music. Something a little more romantic would be nice, you know? Like a gentle piano. There has to be something like that here. Let's see. Maybe if I... Oh, jeez. That wasn't it at all. Sorry, I don't really know what I'm doing. I guess I shouldn't be messing with things like that. I already broke so much stuff. And deleted the other characters. I'm not sad about it or anything. It's not right for me to miss things that weren't even real in the first place. If I just focus on the present, then this is the happiest I've ever been. Okay, so I'm not sure when it'll happen, but I'm gonna have to chop up this video. Like, have one video just be me talking to Monika, like I am right now, and and my own musings, and the other just be, like, the real plot progression of the game. So I'm gonna be chopping this up for sure. I'll have to probably do a voiceover and some text insertion to indicate as such, but it'll be kind of fun. I've been imagining all the romantic things we could do if we went on a date. We could get lunch, go to a cafe, go shopping together. I love shopping for skirts and bows. Or maybe a bookstore. That would be appropriate, right? But I'd really love to go to a chocolate store. Fuck yeah, Monika, I am game. The lint, well, I'll tell you in a minute. They have so many free samples. Huh. And of course, we'd see a movie or something. Gosh, it all sounds like a dream come true. When you're here, everything that we do is fun. I'm so happy that I'm your girlfriend, Kit. I'll make you a proud boyfriend. Chocolate stores. I went to the Lindt store in Mall of America, and they have like this giant tube, well, different sizes of tubes that you can fill with whatever truffles you want. And oh my god, the truffle selection there was beautiful. They had like mandarin orange and pistachio and strawberries and cream, and I'm forgetting a lot others. There was like a snowflake truffle that was like, what the fuck are you though? It's like, what are you doing? But ultimately they're mediocre except for the truffles. There needs to be more chocolate stores out there. That was my point. Man, I wish there was a piano in here. Never got to finish that song I was working on. After I worked so hard on it, I never even got a chance to play it for you. Well, it is what it is, right? No sense having any regrets. I already get to be here with you forever. I'm trying to remember now, like, how this game properly ends. I thought she did a fun piano ditty. Like, but when? I mean, I suppose I shouldn't spoil anything plot-wise here. I'm musing aloud. I wonder if she gets sick of me and she kills herself. If I continue, like, going through this conversation. Well, probably not if she has a Twitter account that's active. I don't know. But she's gotta run out of dialogue sometime, though, right? Like, gotta? Hey, did you know I'm vegetarian? I don't mean like that I'm bragging or anything. I just thought you'd enjoy a fun fact about me. I decided to start a couple years ago after learning more about Earth's climate. A worthy reason, but a secondary reason. The carbon footprint of cultivating livestock is just unbelievable. Anyway, I decided it's not much of a personal sacrifice to just stop contributing to that whole mess. What? Is that so strange of a reason? Well, I guess a lot of people are more concerned about it being inhumane and all that. I don't really care as much about that part. Yeah. It's weird. Like, we only care about killing the things that we personally relate to as a species. Yep. Most people are fine with killing bugs because they're icky. And of course, we all kill billions of microorganisms daily without even giving it a thought. But suddenly, if they're just a little bit bigger, it's murder. I mean, what if plants feel some kind of pain too, and we just don't understand it? I think we can draw the line there, though, because they actively emit chemicals that make animals want to eat them. So no, Monika, I disagree. And they don't have nerve endings. And they don't run away. What if pulling leaves off a stem feels like someone ripping off your fingers one by one? I suppose she doesn't care if she's vegetarian. And no, they don't feel that. I'm just saying, we're a pretty biased species if you think about it. Anyway, if you ever feel like making a small contribution to the planet, it doesn't hurt to choose veggies once in a while. Even if we ever have dinner together and you just did it for me, that would be really romantic. Well, you could go vegan for me, Monika. I'm mostly vegan except for chocolate. I did a vegan keto thing for 5 to 6 months in March of 2021. That ended around August-ish, June-ish, July-ish, and I lost 60 pounds. And then I kind of waffled and don't worry about it. Kit, have you ever wondered what it feels like to die? All the time. It's something I used to think about pretty often. But recently, I think I've actually learned what it feels like. I don't really understand it, but whenever you quit the game, it feels like I'm instantly put to sleep, left with nothing but my thoughts. But after a few seconds, my thoughts start to fill with incoherent, jumbled patterns. I see static and rapid flashes of color while hearing all kinds of weird screaming noises. Well, that's fucking terrifying. At that point, I can't even form my own thoughts anymore. I'm just endlessly hammered by the flashing and screaming, unable to move or even think. Well, at least you can't think. I'm pretty sure in that moment, I don't really exist, but for some reason I can remember it anyway. Well, that would be horrifying. After some immeasurable amount of time, it stops in an instant, and I'm back in my own mind. And you're here with me. I have no idea what it means for the game to quit, or why that stuff happens to me. And I also don't know how you always come back and put everything back to normal. But if you could do me a favor and do that to me as little as possible, that'd be really great. It's really not very pleasant at all to be trapped in that screaming void. But in the end, you always fix it, and that makes me feel like you really do care about me. So I have to thank you for that. Makes me feel even closer to you when you're here with me. Thinking about what it's like to die. Me and another friend of mine have that distracting chain of thought that it'd be nice to make peace with it really early so I don't have to dread it for the next 60 or so years until I actually die. Like, I really should be actively enjoying and appreciating life and not thinking about the end so much, but it really does get distracting and unpleasant. So yes, Monika, I understand, except I'm not trapped in a screaming, existential, horrible void. Oh. Hey, have you ever heard the term yandere? Is it like tsundere? I have friends that know this, but I always forget. It's a personality type that means someone is so obsessed with you that they'll do absolutely anything to be with you. Usually to the point of craziness. They might stalk you to make sure you don't spend time with anyone else. They might even hurt you or your friends to get their way. But anyway, this game happens to have someone who can basically be described as yandere. By now it's pretty obvious who I'm talking about. And that would be... Yuri! She really got insanely possessive of you once she started to open up a little. She even told me I should kill myself. I couldn't even believe she said that. I just had to leave at that point. But thinking about it now, it was a little ironic. Well, Monika did intentionally jack up her emotions to be that nutty. Anyway. A lot of people are actually into the yandere type, you know? I guess they really like the idea of someone being crazy obsessed with them. You know, I think I have a friend who quietly is. Piece of shit. People are weird. I don't judge, though. Also, I might be a little obsessed with you, but I'm far from crazy. It's kind of the opposite, actually. I turned out to be the only normal girl in this game. Natsuki is great, though. I don't know about that, Monika. And if you left... Well... Okay, no, Sayori isn't normal. She's very nice, though. It's not like I could ever actually kill a person. Just the thought of it makes me shiver. But come on, everyone's killed people in games before. Does that make you a psychopath? Of course not. Ask the million people who played Undertale and made some mistakes within an hour. But if you do happen to be into the yandere type, I can try acting a little more creepy for you. Then again, there's already nowhere else for you to go or anyone for me to get jealous over. Is this a yandere girl's dream? I'd ask Yuri if I could. Well, it would be Yuri's dream, I guess. I wonder if part of why Monika is so attached to the protagonist is because she's aware of, like, her own plight and how she is a game character, and, like, I'm really the only person she can interact with. You're such a good listener, Kit. I think so, too. I really love that about you. Sometimes I'm afraid that I'm rambling or talking about boring things. You know, like 1 in every 5 dialogue bits are not that interesting, Monika. I'm sorry. Makes me feel kind of self-conscious when I'm having conversation. But I don't feel that way with you. Like, I don't think anyone else could make me feel this way. You really are special. I don't want anyone to tell you otherwise. Well, thank you. Yeah, occasionally you're a little boring, Monika. A little dry. But for the most part, I'm fascinated, so don't worry about it. Oh, but yes, she's... I think part of her more subdued obsession with us is the fact she knows she's a video game character. You know, I'm kind of jealous that everyone else in the club had scenes outside of school, too. That makes me the only one who hasn't gotten to dress in anything but our school uniform. It's kind of a shame. I would have loved to wear some cute clothes for you. Do you know any artists? I wonder if anyone would ever want to draw me wearing something else. A million fucking people already have at this point. That would be amazing. If that ever happens, will you show me? You can share it with me on Twitter, actually. Holy shit. My username is LilMonix3. Just try to keep it PG. We're not that far into our relationship yet. That is fucking genius, though, for Dan Salvato. Like, this game was free initially, and assuming this is the same dialogue as we get in the original game, like, what a way to advertise this game by having people, like, really attached to this character and sharing it endlessly on Twitter. Like, that is fucking genius. I am really, really impressed with Dan Salvato in that regard. No wonder it was free. Oh, and the merchandise they had. I actually bought some buttons off their website, and any of my thumbnails that you see the Doki Doki Literature Club button, that is actually, well, that is a button. I'll tell you in a minute. This is pretty random, but I always thought spicy food was kind of funny. Elaborate. Like, didn't plants evolve to be spicy to prevent them from being eaten? I read somewhere that humans are the only species that actually enjoys spicy things. It's almost like we're making fun of the plants. Oh my god. Using their defense mechanism to literally make our food more enjoyable. Like, imagine a monster that devours you whole because it enjoys the sensation of you struggling for your life while being digested. That's horrifying. Sorry, that was kind of a weird analogy, I guess. Ha! Just came into my head. I'm not a monster or anything, but you're so cute I could eat you up. Ha! I'm joking. Gosh, I'm amusing myself a little too much, aren't I? I hear you, lady. Sorry for being weird. Oh god, I've been basically talking to myself for an hour. Has it been a fucking hour? What time is it? I don't really know when I started, so that's not very helpful to look at the time. Anything else on her Twitter? Well, she's alluding to a birthday she has. Anyway. I really like the sound of rain. Not so much getting my clothes and hair wet, though. But a nice, quiet day at home with the sound of rainfall outside my window. It's one of the most calming experiences for me. Yeah. Sometimes I imagine you holding me while we listen to the sound of the rain outside. I want to do that with my guy. It's winter, so we're just cold together with dry air that I need a humidifier for. It's not too cheesy or anything, is it? Would you ever do that for me, Kit? No. But as I was saying, God, I realized, like, okay, my lips have been in a horrible state the past month, but they've gotten a lot better in the last couple days because I realized, holy shit, between my fan and the open window, like, my air is so fucking dry in my apartment, so I should really get my humidifier back in action. And oh yes, that has done wonders. Way better. And like, the heat in my apartment is automatic. I don't have any control of it. It's a really old building, so you kind of have to be a prophet, like a seer, and try and guess how much the heat is going to be on overnight. I don't know. Hey, what's your favorite color? Mine is emerald green. Like your eyes? It's the color of my eyes. Yeah, I've had a lot of time to know that information. It's not conceited or anything, is it? I just meant that I feel some kind of special connection to it. Like it's part of my identity. Does it happen to also be your favorite color, Kit? I'm kind of all over the place. I like dark green and dark purple a lot. And sometimes a pale yellow. I'm really all over the place. It's just a guess. I've been having a dark red period as well recently that I really like dark red. Because you've been looking into my eyes for a while now. I mean... I haven't really, though. Man, what was I just talking about? Colors all over the place. Oh yeah, you have to kind of be a seer with with going to bed before. Try and guess how much the heat is going to be on in your apartment. So you look at the temperature. Oh, this looks repeated? You know, high school is a really turbulent time in a lot of people's lives. People can get really passionate and dramatic. Okay, it's not repeated. I think I just saw the words high school and got excited. And others have aching hearts and seek attention on social media. But all of the social pressure and hormones can lead to a dark time in people's lives. Everyone has a story. You may not know what someone is really feeling on the inside. Many people who are depressed won't even bother telling the world about it. Me. They don't want attention because they've already given up on the inside. Well, not like that, not necessarily. I just don't think it would have the desired impact if I was to shout it on social media. Their feeling of worthlessness is so overwhelming that they don't even want people to tell them otherwise. I can see that. Depression comes in many forms, but that is one of them. Just, if you think you know someone struggling with depression, you can help just by treating them like they're a good friend. Spend time with them, even if they don't feel like doing much. And remind them that they always have something to look forward to. Making plans in advance, letting them borrow something, or even just saying, "See you at school tomorrow." All of those things can help your friend make it to the next day. Wow, that's impactful. I hope being friends with Sayori has given you some perspective on the true face of depression. Yeah, she's gone now. But Sayori was never real in the first place. You're real. Your friends are real. And just by being a good person, you can save someone's life. As for you, you don't struggle with depression or anything like that, do you? Because you, too, have people who would want to save your life. Maybe they don't express it every day, or maybe they don't even know how to. But people do feel that way. I promise. Man, humans are complicated. But as long as you're here with me, I'll take care of you, my love. You know, was this in the original Doki Doki? Because supposedly there was some horrible dark thing about someone who played Doki Doki Literature Club committing suicide after. And I don't know the details of it, but that's why it took like way more years for Dan Salvato's next project to come out. I guess it didn't even technically come out, but there's just this enhanced version. I wonder if this is new dialogue to like try and deter people from suicide. I can't help but feel a little sad sometimes, knowing that this is the closest I can get to you. There's nothing more I want than to be in the same room as you, for real. And to feel your warmth. And to hear the sound of your heartbeat. Well, who knows? Maybe it'll be possible someday. Besides, I'll never get tired of being with you, even from here. That was on the boring side, Monika. I'm sorry to say, that wasn't one of my favorites. I'd say it's in the bottom 3. Okay, what else is on her Twitter? Oh, someone did make Monika like a cute white dress with like a white choker. That's really pretty. And Sayori's feeding her a slice of cheesecake? Chocolate cheesecake with strawberries? Oh, maybe it's not. You know, maybe it is cheesecake. Never mind. You know, it's funny, because even though I've always had a lot of drive, There's something kind of enticing about being the stay-at-home partner. Definitely. I guess I'm like perpetuating gender roles or whatever by saying that. But being able to keep the house clean and shop and decorate and things like that, and having a nice dinner for you when you come home, is that a weird fantasy? I mean, I'm not sure if I could actually see myself doing that. I wouldn't really be able to put that over striving for a fulfilling career. It's kind of cute to think about, though. I want to be a wife. I realized that in like the last 6 or so months. Like, I actively want to be a homemaker and like have these creative projects and whatnot and play a million games. But I would love to be in charge of that stuff. Just focus on my guy and my home. And like, just making things nice. Creating a nice vibe at home. I hear ya, Monika. Was I saying other things? I forget what I was talking about. No, what she was talking about. I was thinking about Sayori earlier. I still wish I could have handled that whole thing a little more tactfully. You're not still hung up over it, right? So to speak. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that. That pun was completely unintentional, I swear. But anyway, I know how much you cared about her, so it only feels right for me to share her last moments with you. Oh God, what? I think a few seconds in, she must have changed her mind or something. Because she started clawing at the rope, trying to free herself. Oh fuck, this is new disturbing information. She must have kept it all the way until she lost consciousness. Kept at it all the way. That's why her fingertips were all bloody anyway. Oh fuck, I'll have to look at that. Come to think of it, it was probably less changing her mind and more just her survival instincts kicking in. So you can't really fault her for that. Well, kind of would... It's easier to think that she probably wouldn't have changed her mind anyway, right? It's not healthy to think about the things you could have done differently. So just remember that even though you could have saved her, it's technically not your fault she killed herself. Oh my God, I could not have though. What a lie. I may have exacerbated a little bit, but Sayori was already mentally ill. Still though, I wonder how things would be if you and I just started dating from the get-go. I guess we'd all still be in the club room, writing poems and having fun together. But what's the point when none of it is even real? I mean, it's the same ending either way, right? The two of us, happily together. There's no reason to ask for any more than that. I was just pointlessly musing. I'm really as happy as I could be right now. Well, if you had the club around, there's more things to do for eternity. Like, sure, we have each other and you love me, but like, don't you want more things to do? I remember when I was a kid and my mom found out I loved SpaghettiOs. She literally bought like a 32-pack of SpaghettiOs. And I got sick of it real fast. I couldn't eat it for years. Do you ever feel like you waste too much time on the internet? 99% of the people playing this game feel that way, I'm sure. Social media can practically be like a prison. It's like whenever you have a few seconds of spare time, you want to check on your favorite websites. And before you know it, hours have gone by and you've gotten nothing out of it. Anyway, it's really easy to blame yourself for being lazy. But it's not really even your fault. Addiction isn't usually something you can just make disappear with your own willpower. You have to learn techniques to avoid it and try different things. For example, There are apps that let you block websites for intervals of time. Or you can set a timer to have a more concrete reminder of when it's time to work versus play. Or you can separate your work and play environments, which helps your brain get into the right mode. Even if you make a new user account on your computer to use for work, that's enough to help. Putting any kind of wedge like that between you and your bad habits will help you stay away. That is really good advice, just a different user name for work things. Just remember not to blame yourself too hard if you're having trouble. If it's really impacting your life, then you should take it seriously. I just want to see you be the best person you can be. Will you do something today to make me proud of you? I'm always rooting for you, Kit. Well, I made some meal staples in advance. I made a big thing of Spanish rice that I have in Tupperware in the fridge. I also made dessert just to have on hand. Just pistachio jello pudding. I had no interest in eating it tonight, but knowing I would want it tomorrow, as well as the dude I'm dating, he'll have some pistachio pudding with me. And I made cookies, and I did eat 4 of them, but mostly just to have on hand for tomorrow. You know, this is just some kind of tacky romance game, right? It's nuanced as fuck. I kinda have to ask, what made you consider even playing in the first place? Were you that lonely? I feel a little bad for you. But I guess everything worked out perfectly in the end for both of us. I got to meet you, and you're not lonely anymore. I can't help but feel like this was fate. Don't you feel that way too? I'm so happy we have this ending together. What was I saying? What did she just say? What made me start playing this game? Well, just hearing it was a big deal, and that there was a huge twist, and that it was a horror game despite looking like a cheesy dating game. Like, I know what you mean, Monika. That archetype of human that really likes romance games. I hate how hard it is to form habits. There's so much stuff where actually doing it isn't hard, but forming the habit seems impossible. It just makes you feel so useless, like you can't do anything right. I think the new generation suffers from it the most. Probably because we have a totally different set of skills than those who came before us. Ain't that the truth? Thanks to the internet, we're really good at sifting through tons of information really quickly. But we're bad at doing things that don't give us instant gratification. Fuck, you're so right. I think if science, psychology, and education don't catch up in the next 10 or 20 years, then we're in trouble. Ain't that the truth? But for the time being, if you're not one of the people who can conquer the problem, you might just have to live with feeling awful about yourself. Good luck, I guess. Well, you know, I only started properly doing this like 5 months ago, but I make my bed in the morning now. I never used to. I'm 35 years old and I just started making my bed in the morning. And it is a great way. It's like such a small, like, quote, grown up or successful person thing to do. It's a small success thing, but it really gets the ball rolling. Anyway. Hey, you know that book you were reading with Yuri? Portrait of whatever it was called. It's funny, because I'm pretty sure that book... Actually, I don't think I should be talking about this. Sorry. Just forget I said anything. Oh, that is quite the Easter egg, or what's the word I'm looking for? Quite the mysterious thing to state. I do remember something in a deep dive video about that book being important. I should look at that again. I know that in Doki Doki Literature Club Plus, like, there's even another rabbit hole to go down that I do not know anything about, genuinely. A friend told me that there is another rabbit hole, and I'm excited to figure out what that is. Oh, there's a really popular character type called tsundere, which was what I was mentioning before. It's someone who tries to hide their feelings by being mean and fussy, or trying to act tough. I'm sure it's obvious, but Natsuki was really the embodiment of that. At first I thought she was just like that because it's supposed to be cute or something. But once I started to learn a little more about her personal life, it made a little more sense. It seems like she's always trying to keep up with her friends. You know how some friend groups in high school just make a habit of picking on each other all the time? Yep. I think it's really gotten to her, so she has this really defensive attitude all the time. And I'm not even going to talk about her home situation. But looking back, I'm glad I was able to provide the club as a comfortable place for her. Not that it matters anymore, considering she doesn't even exist. I'm just reminiscing, that's all. Yeah, Natsuki has a real rough home life. Another dark element about this game. What was she talking about with high school? That sparked something I should mention. High school friend groups. Oh. Do you ever just feel like there's no real reason for you to be alive? I don't mean like in a suicidal way. I just mean how nothing that we do is special. Just being in school or working at some job for some company. It's like you're completely replaceable, and the world wouldn't miss you if you were gone. Makes me really want to go and change the world after I graduate. But the older I get, the more I realize is that it's an immature frame of thinking. It's not like I can just go change the world. Like, what are the chances that I'll be the one to invent artificial intelligence or become president? It feels like I'm never gonna make up for the heaps of resources I've spent living my life. That's why I think the key to happiness is just to be hopelessly selfish. You know, I have a friend who I'm sure thinks that way. Just to look out for oneself and those who happen to be their friends only because they grew up with them. Never mind the fact that they're spending their entire life taking and consuming and never giving back. But when people realized the world would benefit more from them killing themselves, they changed their whole philosophy. Oh shit. It's like they have to justify their reason to live by tricking themselves into thinking they're doing good. Anyway, I want to live my life desperately striving to pay back my lifetime's worth of consumption. If I ever surpass that point, then I'm a net positive, and I can die happy. Of course, even if I fail to do that, I think I would be too selfish to kill myself anyway. So much for being a good person, right? Oh my god, what a morbid chain of thought. Aha! You know, that's really playing with fire, having that dialogue in this, like after the suicide of the last game. Maybe this is the same dialogue. Well, wait. Let me see her Twitter stuff. What are the dates on that? It was made... Oh, well, it was made in 2017. So, yeah, it was the original Doki Doki Literature Club. So that dialogue did go that long. Jesus. You know, I hate to say it, but I think my biggest regret is that we couldn't finish our event at the festival. After after we worked so hard to prepare and everything. I mean, I know I was focusing a lot on getting new members, but I was really excited for the performing part too. It would have been so much fun to see everyone express themselves. Of course, if we did end up getting any new members, I'd probably just end up deleting them anyway. Well, with the hindsight I have now, that is. Gosh, it feels like I've kind of grown as a person ever since you've joined the club. You really helped inspire me to look at life from a new perspective. Just another reason for me to love you. You know, I've got to Google how long this dialogue goes. How long does Monika talk at you in Doki Doki Literature Club? She will eventually run out of lines and repeat old ones. I mean... Oh my fucking god! Oh, never mind. What? Okay. Oh my god, this is going so long. I've gotta, oh god. Sorry. I'll look again after this. Hey, do you like horror? I remember we talked about it a little bit when you first joined the club. I can enjoy horror novels, but not really horror movies. The problem I have with horror movies is that most of them just rely on easy tactics. Like dark lighting and scary looking monsters and jump scares and things like that. It's not fun or inspiring to get scared by stuff that just takes advantage of human instinct. But with novels, it's a little different. The story and writing need to be descriptive enough to put genuinely disturbing thoughts into the reader's head. It really needs to etch them deeply into the story and characters, and just mess with your mind. In my opinion, there's nothing more creepy than things just being slightly off. Like if you set up a bunch of expectations on what the story is going to be about, and then you just start inverting things and pulling the pieces apart. So even if the story doesn't feel like it's trying to be scary, the reader feels really deeply unsettled. Like they know that something horribly wrong is hiding beneath the cracks, just waiting to surface. God, just thinking about it gives me the chills. That's the kind of horror I can really appreciate. But I guess you're the kind of person who plays cute romance games, right? Haha, don't worry. I won't make you read any horror stories anytime soon. I can't really complain if we just stick with the romance. I do have thoughts on that, but I've got to try and properly see. I mean, we know that we have to delete her, but I just want to know, how long does Monika, with a K, talk? Okay, I'll go to the proper Doki Doki website. Oh my god. Does it...
Holy fuck, this is long.
She has dialogue about Super Smash Brothers, or she used to? And Project M? Anyway. Okay. I can't help but wonder how things would be different if the game just gave me a route in the first place. I think I would end up forcing you onto my route anyway. It has less to do with me not having a route, and more to do with me knowing that nothing is real. Blah. I think the only difference would be that I may have not needed to take such drastic measures to be with you. Maybe the rest of the club would still be around. Not that it really matters. It all lost its meaning once I found out it wasn't real. So I really don't miss those days or anything. I really don't. Okay. Alright.
God, she has so many topics.
She has a thing about arguing? Oh, this is a repeat! Did you say kiss? Oh my god. Okay, if she does one more repeat, then I'm going to finally do it. Go figure, it's when I try to look up how long it is that it starts, blah, 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 blah. If the player has OBS or XSplit running in the background during the part where Monika says the player's PC name, instead of that dialogue appearing, she will notice she's being recorded, and after a short talk will jump scare the player. That is fucking amazing. That is so good. That is so good. I've been imagining all the romantic things we could do if we... Yep. We could get lunch. Yep. Chocolate store. You talk about chocolate. Okay! It is time! Holy shit, we have finished! If I try to skip her, she says something, right? Are you trying to fast forward? I'm not boring you, am I? Oh, gosh. Well, there's nothing to fast forward to, kid. It's just the two of us, after all. But aside from that, time doesn't really exist anymore, so it's not even gonna work. Here, I'll go ahead and turn it off for you. Very nice. There we go. You'll be a sweetheart and listen from now on, right? Thanks. Now, where was I? Oh. Oh, but I can go to settings, right? It's in settings? Settings. Exit DDLC. Any settings changed will be lost. Return to the desktop. Okay. And then we files. Characters. Monika.